You ever wondered what actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape really fast for a movie?
Never. Sue, do you have one we stopped yesterday?
I do, but
I
I'm
run out to my car if we need
in a
to.
different.
I might have scrolled down to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think we were that far. All right, hold on, I'll be right back.
No, we
got it.
definitely weren't that far, but
I got it, Pam. I'll figure it out.
well, man, this shows my dependence on my hard copy book, right? Oh my Lord, this meeting is being recorded. Who cares? Oh,
I think it was here, text 24.
let's see. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Because I remember reading these occupational duties.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the prior one was goodness. So this is, yes, I think this is it.
Okay. Text 24. Yatu kampasuna karma sankan karina va punam kriyati balulai asam yad rajam yud artam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and which is enacted from the sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. Text 25. Ayum banham kasham hisam apixia ka perspruzam muda barhati karma yatat tamasam yati. And that action performed in ignorance and delusion without consideration of future bondage and consequences, which inflicts injury and is impracticable, is said to be action in the mode of ignorance. One has to give account of one's actions to the state or to the agents of the Supreme Lord called the Yamandutas. Irresponsible work is distraction because it destroys the regulative principles of spiritual injunction. It is often based on violence and is distressed to other living entities. Such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. This is called illusion. And all such illusory work is a product of the mode of ignorance. Text 26. Mukta sango naham vadi Tri Yutsa ha sam avita siddhi asidhor nirvikara karta satvika yukati. The worker who is free from all material attachments and false ego, who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to success or failure, is the worker in the mode of goodness. A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the result of work entrusted to him because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not carry about the distress undertaken. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal both in distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness. Text 27. Raji Karma Palala Prepsu Lubu Him Asanto Sushi Harsa Sukha Vanyita Karta Raja Sa Parikritita. But that worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor and who passionately wants to enjoy them, who is greedy, envious, and impure, and moved by happiness and distress, is the worker in the mode of passion. A person is too much attached to certain kind of work or result because he has too much attention for materialism or hearth or home, wife and children. Such a person has no desire for higher elevation of life. He is simply concerned with making his world and material comfortable as possible. He is generally very greedy and he thinks that anything attained by him is permanent and never to be lost. Such a person is envious of others and prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. Therefore, such person is unclean and he does not care whether his earning is pure or impure. He is very happy if his work is successful and very distressed when his work is not successful. Such a man is the man in the mode of passion. Text 28. Aya katu prato sabha sato nai istoka lasa vishadi digar sutri ka karta tamasa yukati. And that worker who is always engaged to work against the injunction of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, who is lazy, always remorse, and procrastinating, is a worker in the mode of ignorance. In the scripture injunctions, we find that what sort of work should be performed and what should not be performed. Those who do not care for those injunctions engage in work not to be done. And such persons are generally materialistic. They work according to the modes of nature, not according to the injunctions of the scriptures. Such workers are not very gentle, and generally they are always cunning and expert in insulting others. They are very lazy, even though they have some duty. They do not do it properly, and they put it aside to be done later. Therefore, they appear to be morose. They procrastinate. Anything which can be done in an hour, they drag for years. Such workers are situated in the mode of ignorance. Text 29. Budher Bedam Di Rashtra Kava Gunatas Tri Bidham Surnu Pro Kayama Asesena Pritz Kenbena Danam Yaya. Now, O winner of wealth, please listen as I tell you in detail of the three kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of nature. Now, after explaining knowledge, the object and knowledge, and the knower in three different divisions according to the modes of material nature, the Lord is explaining intelligence and determination of the worker in the same way. Text 30. Parvitim ka nirtim ka kari akare baya bade banham mocham kaya veti budhid sa parta satviki. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, who is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, that understanding is established in the mode of goodness. Actions which are performed in terms of directions of the scriptures are called the parviti, or actions they deserve to be performed, and actions which are not so directed are not to be performed. One who does not know the scriptural directions become entangled in the actions and reactions of work. Understanding which discriminates by intelligence is situated in the mode of goodness. Text 31. Yaya dharmam aharma ka karyam karyam eva ka ayatavat parjan ati budhib sa parta rajazi. And that understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious way of life and the irreligious, between action that should be done and action that should not be done. That a perfect understanding, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of passion. Intelligence in the mode of passion is always working perversely. It accepts religions which are not actually religions and rejects actual religions. All views and activities are misguided. Men of passionate intelligence understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of passion. Text 32. Adharman darman itiya manyate tama sarvatan bipam itamska budhib so parta tamasi. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, in the mode of ignorance. Text 33. Diryata yaya darhar ate manam pan driya kriya yoga amnavaihi karyam ditra sa parta sa viki. O son of Pritha, the determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with a steady fastness by yoga practice, and thus controls the mind, life, and acts of the senses in the mode of goodness. Yoga is a means to understand the Supreme Soul. One who is steadily fixed in the Supreme Soul, which with determination, concentrating one's mind, life, and sensual activities on the Supreme, engages in Krishna consciousness. That sort of determination is in the mode of goodness. The word abhya here, karina, is very significant, for it refers to persons who are engaged in Krishna consciousness and never deviated by any other activity. Text 34. Yayatu dharma kamartam dryitat darhavate rijuna parsamjina parlakanski dritid sarparta rajazi, and that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is the nature of the passion, O Arjuna. Any person who is always serious, I don't know if I said that right, or fruitive results in religious or economic activities, whose only desire is sense gratification, and whose mind, life, and senses are thus engaged in the mode of passion. Text 35. Yaya sampam bayam sokam vishadam madam eva ka na vinyukate du durmedha dite sa parta tamasi. And that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamination, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination is in the mode of darkness. It should not be concluded that a person in the mode of darkness does not dream. Here, dreams means too much sleep. Dream is always present, either in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Dream is a natural occurrence. But those who cannot avoid oversleeping, which cannot avoid the pride of enjoying material objects, and who are always dreaming of lording it over the material world, whose life, mind, and senses are thus engaged, are considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Text 36-37, Sukham Tiv E Damnim Tri Vidham Sunu Mi Barha Ata Saba Ab E Sad Ramate Yatra Du Kantam Ka Nig Kate Yat Tad Argi Vishan Iba par inami na tu pamam tat sukam sat ivan ban prokam atam budi parashada jam. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness which is conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress, that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens oneself realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. A conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again. Thus he chews the chewed, but sometimes in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from material entanglement by association with great souls. In other words, a conditioned soul is always engaged in some type of sense gratification. But when he understands by good association that it is only a repetition of the same thing, and he is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness, he is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness. In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses, and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison, but if one is successful in following the regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar and he enjoys life. Text 38. Vishad M. Dira Sam Yod Jad Yatat Argi Mitamyam Parninam Visham Eva Tat Sukam Rajayam Mirtam. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. A young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her and touch her and have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing and to the senses, but at the end or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce. There is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense object is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means. Good place to stop?
Yes.
Okay. Text 39. Okay, I'll try to remember that. I'll leave it there.
39. I'm gonna send myself an email, so maybe I'll remember.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'll remember. I'll have my book with
Oh,
me
that's a good
tomorrow.
idea. I could just text Pam, text 39.
Yeah, let's put
I'll
on my
do that.
alarm.
What a
You know,
number.
I keep all these alarms on my phone that
Mhm.
are my to-dos. I never thought to read, and I like my alarm for sadhana. I never thought to just rename every day with the. You know what'll make it easier next time? What? The sloka we're on, so I can
Yeah.
just do that too.
I got really confused by that second, the sex one I got, but the one before that.
Which one was that? That was,
I think it was 36. I'm reading. Look. 36, 37. I think they're saying that your mind just becomes, which I've heard before, that you're always looking for like a similar experiences that you've already had to get like sense gratification.
Mhm.
I think that's what that one is trying to say, but I'm not sure.
And then it goes on to say, until you realize that repetition of that is not pleasurable but poisonous.
Yeah.
I can feel myself experiencing something like this with the loss of Kramer. Like I'm trying to fill that void with something. And I can see, I'm like, oh, well, what can I fill this hole with? And I keep, like, because of this practice, I keep telling, like, I can catch myself, like, oh, a quesadilla and a margarita aren't going to fill that void. Oh, like running out and buying this product isn't going to fill that. It's going to be a temporary thing. So like this process of pausing and like really being like, I have to be happy now as is. Like nothing's going to fill that void. Nothing material is going to fill that void. It might temporarily, but I have to create. And like my sister left me that quote of like creating happiness. So I just keep talking to myself about like, I need to create happiness as is now. Hold on. They have a puppy Doberman that's whining, and Grayson's watching the TV and can't hear her right next to her whining, next to him whining. Yeah, so
I get trapped on the word happiness, which I think really doesn't mean happiness in the way that we are taught to think about it through the endless commercials we see for all of our lives. But it for me, it almost has to mean more contentment, and not contentment in the way contentment as contentment and acceptance, and not as in I'm too lazy to get up and change the TV channel, but contentment in terms of acceptance, as in, so this is what it is now. Okay, let's go through this, good or bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, not that, like we're walking around with a smile on our face all day long, like in a super excited, happy mode, but like in that neutral, happy, content. Like I agree with you. So I like that word content. Or like joy. Like joy can be also, there can be sadness and be joyful. Like you can be sad about something, but also be content. Like we like always coming back to that middle part of the spectrum.
Yeah, and the word joy is it's a great word. And I was thinking about it earlier this week. One of the things I did this summer was just drop out of a lot of activities I had been doing. And my presenting reason for this was so I can finish my book. Well, I am working on my book, and it does make a difference to have a little more time. But the real truth is, I think I wanted to do it so I could devote more time to the things that, quote unquote, bring me joy. And some of them are just the dumb everyday thing. You know, I like cooking, and I don't take great pleasure in thinking I got to make a meal every day, you know, but I take great pleasure in making a meal from stuff that I've grown, or it's real fresh, or I figure out a new way to put some stuff together, or I've got 4 things in the refrigerator that have to be used today. How can I use them? So for me, that gives me great joy and a lot of pleasure. And it's different than wasting your time going down the Facebook rabbit hole, which, been there, done that often. It's more, so I'm sort of discovering I have to really identify the things that give me contentment and that give me joy, and not try to fill the hole with other things like, Facebook, or too much food, or too much bad food, et cetera, et cetera. It's an interesting summer. It is not necessarily an easy summer, even though I'm doing less, but it's interesting. It's almost like moving away from the ignorance and even the passion mode, and trying to move more into the goodness and the truth mode.
Yeah. I gave this example when I taught last night. My niece went to an arcade when they were away, and you win the tickets and then you go get a prize. And like, she was so excited to get her prize, but like the prize is like for a stick of gum was like 500 tickets, and the games only gave you like 5 tickets. And my sister-in-law was like, I spent $20 for them to get like this garbage prize. You could just buy the prize, but it's the whole idea behind it. Anyway, so my little niece Aria is the most giving, in the moment person I know. She's 7, and so she comes home with this prize, and it's 12 capsules that you put in water and they turn into an animal.
Oh, I love those things when I was little.
Yeah, so she's like, if this was mine, I would have maybe tried 1, and the other 11 would have been put away for another special time that would have been forgotten about and not enjoyed. I would have hoarded them and saved them in there. And then I would have been cleaning out something, and maybe I would have found them and they would have been expired and never worked. Aria rips open the package. She's like, you should try one, Aunt Pam. She's got a gerbil in her hand. She's working over here. She's got all these like happiness things going on. She's like, you pick one. And I'm like, how about you pick the color for me? And she's like, no, you're the guest. You pick first. So not only is she enjoying her 12 capsules, she's letting me, her guest, pick the first one. I mean, like, and then she's like she's doing like science experiments with them. Like, I'm like, Aria, you're wasting that. In my head, I did not tell her this. In my head, I'm like, and like, watching her do that, I'm not as bad anymore about this. Like, just, and the Marie Kondo life-changing magic of tidying up really changed my life. Whereas I don't keep everything hiding away anymore. Like, all my sentimental things are not hidden away. They're now pulled out and they're displayed on my wall, and I see them every day and I use them, because so what if it breaks? I can replace it. I have these like fancy bowls for me, and I broke one. Like, who cares? So now I have a set of 3 instead of 4. Like, I still use them every day. I've been using them for like 6 or 7 years now, and I enjoy them every day. And I think for me, that's like creating this happiness. It's not like, it's the little things that really add up every day. Like, you're enjoying the things in your life instead of like hoarding away the things that could make you happy and then never really getting to experiencing them. That to me is the difference with the material items.
That is
like
profound.
Just not like what?
That's profound. I like that example.
Yeah. Like, and then the other one, like the other one's more like me, where it's like you get the Halloween candy, you eat one piece and you put it away, and then it's Easter and you're getting all the Easter candy and you're like, oh, I never ate all the Halloween candy and that's all expired. And then the Easter candy comes in and you're like, okay, I'll have one piece, and you put that away for a special time. And meanwhile, everyone else around you is getting to enjoy all their material food and stuff, you know, or sharing with each other. Even Arya comes, she's like, here, have a gummy worm. Because I love gummy worms. Like, she's just so willing to just like share her. It's like that. It's this feeling of abundance when you're around her, because she always is just willing to just like give and give. She always knows more will come to her. Whereas I'm like, this is going to be all the Snickers I ever get in my life. I can never eat. I'll never have another Snickers bar again.
Yeah, and you can tell you didn't grow up in a house with a lot of kids, because on Halloween it was eat it now, because otherwise the horror.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I had my two sisters. Yeah.
It was like, you got to eat your food quickly or else people are going to be digging into your dish.
I know, the fork comes across the table.
Yeah, exactly.
No boundaries.
Yeah.
No, I had a lock on my bedroom door with a key, because my sisters were not allowed in my room because they would take my stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like, do not touch my stuff. But now like it's so different. Like, I feel like I should have been taught differently. I don't think that was the right way to handle the situation. I should have been. It's not that I wasn't like a person that shared. I just really valued my items, whereas other people disrespected my stuff. But now, like, if you wanted this shirt, I would literally take it off of me and be like, here, have it. Like, I'm just so like more giving now, because I understand the feeling of abundance now, where it's like I can give and give and give. I see the universe do it to me all the time. Like, I gave someone money, and then like 2 seconds later, my friend sent me like double the amount I gave to use for charity projects. So like, yeah, I see it all the time. The second I give something, if you're doing it truthfully, it replenishes itself somehow, in some way. You know, it might not be the exact thing, but it might be a feeling that fills you up instead, like fills that space instead. So yeah, I think the gratitude practice for me every day too is helpful in this happiness, joy, contentment journey. Like, just taking a moment to be like, you know what, I am really grateful for whatever thing it is. Yeah. I'll be thinking about those capsules for a while.
Yeah, they sound like fun.
Do you remember Strinky Dinks? Did anybody play with those?
I don't know if I play with them, but I feel like I remember them. Maybe my sisters played with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play with those. They were fun.
Yeah, you would. It was like a plasticky sheet of paper, and you would color it in, and then you would cut it out. Like there'd be like little. I had Smurf ones. There'd be like little Smurfs and stuff, and you cut out the Smurf and you put it in the oven, and it became like hard and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they still have those. My nieces play with those.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
know that's what those were called. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what they were called, Strinky Dinks.
Yeah, shrink
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So, all right.
I'm going to sign off at around 8:25 because I got an 8:30 thing, and I have to switch the thing, so I can do it.
No problem. I wanted to show this book that I'm reading real quick.
Okay. Breath.
I just started reading it by James Nestor. I read maybe like the introduction, a couple pages of the introduction last night. And he had, I didn't get very far, but so he had like all ammonia and he had all these problems going on and he was like in deep depression. So he started joining like this meditation thing and about breathing, and like the change in his life was so significant that he decided to study why and all the insides and outs of what a good breathing could do for you. So I'll let you know how it goes, but
Yeah.
I didn't get very far.
Actually, yeah, someone must have told me about it because it's already on my to read list. My never ending to read list.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I have one of those too.
Yeah, I think I brought, like, I'm not joking you. I think I brought 10 books with me here for the week. I won't read 10 books with me, but I needed them with me. My material objects. I'm over my Kindle. All right, so we can do some breath work now, and then we will meditate.
Yep.
So we'll sit up nice and tall. Take a few breaths into the nose and out through the nose. And bring your right hand over to the face. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Continuing on a few more rounds on your own breath. If you haven't already, when you feel ready, you'll exhale out the left side. I'm setting the timer and you'll join us when you're ready. And of course, if you have to drop early, enjoy your day and see you guys on Monday. bringing your hands to meet at heart center. Namaste.
Namaste. Have a good weekend.
You too. Enjoy your day off.
Have a good
Thanks.
weekend.
Is your